Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. A dominant performance for the Knicks tonight in Game 5. Mitchell Robinson, plus 19 off the bench. Jalen Brunson, his best game of the series, goes for 39 points. Hits that three right there. Also had 8 assists. And the Knicks roll over the Hawks, 126-97. That's a scene outside MSG as the Knicks now lead the series 3-2. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto along with Wally Szczerbiak. So, Wally, the Hawks led 4-2, and after that it was lights out. The Knicks defense, especially in that first half, was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I just think everyone that saw the floor, you mentioned the bench's production. That is just a sign of how connected this locker room is. And this locker room had a really tough game in Game 4 where their all backs were against the wall, a lot of pressure on the coaching staff. They came through with flying colors in Atlanta, carried it through into this one at home. You're at home in front of your fans. This has been a good home court team, 30-10 all season long. They took care of business big time. Now you got to go to Atlanta to try to finish this series off in Game 6. You're playing with a little bit of house money, the fact that you can try to steal a Game 6 in Atlanta. But Atlanta's going to make some adjustments. Their fans are going to be ready, and they're going to try to get this one back to MSG for a Game 7.
Game 6 is Thursday. If there's a Game 7, it's back here in New York on Saturday. Knicks, after the first quarter, were up 35-22. At the half, they were up 64-48. They got 64 first-half points, even though they took only 8 threes. Second fewest total in terms of three-point attempts for the Knicks in any half all year.
Yeah, no, but that's because that's what the defense is giving them, honestly. Like, Jalen Brunson has taken whatever the defense game by being aggressive when they guard them, defenders. In that first half, they were trying Kuminga on him, they were trying Daniels on him, and it was just too much size, too much strength. Mitchell Robinson with the big putback there. And how about Jordan Clarkson? He's the first one off the bench most of the time, and he comes in the game and just gets buckets. His defense has been really good. That second unit, I thought they really kind of broke the spirit of the Atlanta Hawks because the starters got the Knicks off to a good start, and then the second unit came in and really played great basketball. OG Anunoby continuing to be a dominant force in this series. And Karl Anthony Towns, you got to remember, like Monica said in the pregame, Knicks have 2 All-Stars on their roster, and they are showing up big time. And then as a result, you start kind of breaking that defense down of the Atlanta Hawks. Other guys make plays. Jalen goes for 39 and has a big-time performance, his best one of the series, which has got to be very disheartening for the Hawks.
Knicks fans got to love it, and they're showing how happy they are. Brunson, by the way, shot 15-23 from the floor. Had been struggling shooting, not tonight. Look at the difference, Wally. Points in the paint, 60-42. Fast break points for the second straight game. The Knicks stopped Atlanta's transition game just about cold, and second chance points, you see, dominated by the Knicks. So the Knicks dominated points in the paint. They dominated the rebounds, and the Hawks couldn't run.
No.
You know, the Hawks, we talked all about them being a transition team. Only 4 fast break points tonight. Remember, the other night, they had 0 fast break points until garbage time.
Well, that's because the Knicks are playing solid defensively, and they know the Hawks want to do that. So anytime the Hawks do get a stop or a steal, you can see they're trying to push the ball off the floor and trying to get a quick, easy shot. But the Knicks' transition defense has been outstanding. It's not just saying you want to do it, it's going out and executing it. And right now the Knicks are executing exactly what the coaching staff wants them to do as far as the game plan. That was a very impressive performance. I expected something like this by this veteran Knicks team at home, but now going to Atlanta, it completely shifts. It's going to be a new mindset for this team. They know they can close out this series. You don't want to roll the dice and have this be a Game 7, even though you have an advantage when you're back home at MSG. Knicks have to go into this game on Thursday on a mission to try to finish this one off and get to the next round.
All right, Wally, let's go across the street. Hahn standing by with Kat. Alan, take it away.
Thank you, Bill. All right, what has been different about this team and this offense especially from the last time you played in this building, Game 2, to now?
Oh, I mean, I just think that we did a great job adjusting as a team, the players, and doing what's needed. I think we're playing with more pace and maximizing those opportunities the defense gives us.
You're a guy that has averaged a double-double. You're a guy that puts up a lot of numbers, scoring and rebounding. but it seems like you enjoy the assists. The 6 assists you had in this game feels like you enjoy that more. Is that true, and why?
I do. I love when you get your teammates involved. It's a special thing when you see your teammates succeeding and elevating their game, and to be just a component of that it's an honor.
All right, well, what is it going to take? You got to go back to Atlanta now to close out this series. What do you got to do in Game 6?
I've seen the toughest game is the one that ends someone's season, and we know we're going to have to even be more desperate. We're going to have to execute at a higher level and play one of our best games that we expect to win in Atlanta. So it's going to take a team effort, and I think this team's ready to go out there and play our best basketball.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. Thanks very much, Kat.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Bill.
Okay, Alan, Kat, thank you. So Kat was 16 points, 14 in the first half, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. He took only 7 shots. 5 of 7 from the floor, still goes for 16 points.
Hey, he's playing point center, and that's fine with him. He's just reading the matchups, and that's, I think, the big part. Jalen Brunson was able to be the guy. I mean, big-time performance, 15 for 23. Karl Anthony Towns, as a result of how impactful he's been in this series, he's been able to make the Atlanta Hawks adjust and not double-team Jalen Brunson as much. As a result, Jalen was able to get going. Early on in this game, Kat was aggressive. When he caught the ball around the basket, he was dominant. The rebounds, he continues to be a force on the boards like he was all season long. And listen, right now the Hawks are searching. They're trying to figure out how to stop this Knicks team. They have no answer for this Knicks team right now. The Knicks are all playing at a high level. Anyone that enters the game has raised their game to a very high level of basketball. And as a result, the Knicks look like the dominant team in this series. But as we know, when you start to feel content, and like Karl Anthony Towns said, we have to expect the Atlanta Hawks' best effort of the series, because in order to knock a team out and end their season, that is the toughest win to get to close out a series.
All right, our New York State Lottery power player is Jalen Brunson, by far his best game of the series. In terms of the shooting percentage, he's only shooting 42% coming into tonight's game, but we talked about 15 to 23 from the floor, 39 points, and also, Wally, don't forget 8 assists.
Yeah. Well, he got loose because he was dealing with single coverage for most of the night, and they weren't throwing those double teams at him from the beginning of the game. They even started with a little bit different matchup. Nickeil Alexander-Walker started the game on him.
And they had Daniels on Kat.
Exactly. That was a little bit of an adjustment. That changed throughout the course of the game, but at the same time, Jalen Brunson, once he started getting going and started getting loose, he just can score. I mean, this guy is a machine in the playoffs. And he's breaking records every single game, it seems like, in New York Knicks history with what he's doing, scoring the basketball, and how impactful he's been. And this percentage is a very good thing for him, because he struggled in some of these games where he missed some shots that I know he knows he normally makes. In this one, he was locked in, got himself into rhythm, 15 for 23. I mean, that is as efficient as you can get to 39 points. That was quite an impressive performance. And now, what are the Hawks going to do in Game 6? Are they going to go back to trying to stop Brunson? As a result, Anunoby, Towns, everyone else can get going? Right now, the Hawks are in a tough conundrum as to how to attack the Knicks in Game 6.
Hawks are also shooting really poorly.
Yeah.
From 3, 13 of 42. Allen's talked about their numbers. Normally a lot better than that, but they have not shot well the last couple of games, and it's the Knicks who are up 3 games to 2. Just getting started here. Fans excited about the Knicks being just 1 win away from moving on. Monica McNutt's post-game thoughts coming up.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Welcome back, everyone. As the Knicks dominate the Hawks, winning 126-97. Now lead the series 3 games to 2. Fans filing out of MSG. And here's Alex Monaco now at the watch party on 33rd Street.
What's up, Bill? I'm here at the 33rd Street watch party. You hear it? Everybody's up. We got trumpets. My God, Jason's got everyone going ballistic.
Let's go. Big shouts to MSG Network.
I mean, as you know, it's not anything but a New York time. Back to you.
Little trumpet there.
Gotta love it.
That's a scene. Fans loving what they saw tonight inside the arena. They're outside watching at the watch party. Alan Hahn now back from across the street. Boy, that was a dominant, stifling win tonight by the Knicks.
Again, held them under 100 points. I mean, that's the key stat to me was that. The fact that you saw this team still not be able to get to 100 points in a playoff game. It was in that second half a couple of things. First and foremost, holding them off as they tried to make a push. And then Jalen Brunson just absolutely detonated. And the building, like, it is amazing when he gets on a roll, how the confidence all around the Garden just goes to another level. Once he started getting those one-on-ones, everybody knew that it was a wrap.
All right, tonight's thrilling moment presented by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. Alan, Wally, how about the bench? Mitch plus 19, Allen, Deuce plus 19, Clarkson plus 14.
And a lot of it was defense. I just felt like the bench came in and provided a lot of energy. I thought this was Mitch's best game of the series. You think, Wally, like aggressiveness, impact on defense, on rebounding. He was doing a lot of talking to Okongwu and Kuminga. Like, he was as locked in this game as I've seen him the whole series.
Yeah, and I love the chemistry that these guys are developing and the way Mike Brown has he's changed his rotation, it feels like every single game. There's not a set when guys are coming in the game. Clarkson was the first guy off the bench. Then Alvarado comes a little bit later. Mitch obviously getting his normal minutes as backup center, whatever you want to call it. Couple Gotham lobs to Mitchell Robinson, brought the roof down at MSG. These three guys just locked in, played great basketball. And you know Deuce McBride's always going to give you good minutes off the bench, which he also did.
Got to mention Alvarado. Yeah. That's a career playoff high for him.
And what I loved about when he came in the game, his minutes when he comes in for Jalen Brunson is he's got to be aggressive. You know, like if he sees the rim, he's got to attack. I loved a couple of instances in the first half. He had Kispert on him. And instead of like reversing the ball and resetting, he looked and he went, "No, I can get this." And he got buckets.
Went right at Kispert twice.
Right at him. Right. He let him know, like, no. There's no chance you can keep me in front of you. And that's what I think. That's what you would want as a coach.
Yeah.
Like you have a matchup, take it, burn it, go ahead, get after him. And he showed great confidence. The key to this game also was a lot of the guys that came off the bench did not show any hesitation whatsoever. You need that. Come in.
Alvarado also hit a couple of threes.
Yes.
And he's not always been great. But he's been better lately from downtown, right? Yep. So really impressive, Wally, up and down the lineup. And, you guys are talking about Mike Brown changing the rotation. We saw Mitchell Robinson and Cat together a lot tonight, more so than I think we've seen the entire series.
Well, that's the versatility that this roster has.
Right.
This roster can play a lot of different ways, and they can cause the opponent a lot of problems. As long as everyone that's out there on the floor is playing at a high level. That's the bottom line. You can't just walk out on an NBA floor and expect because you're Mitchell Robinson or you're Karl Anthony Towns that you're going to have success. You got to go out there and make it happen. You got to go out there and play defense the way Cat's been playing in this series. He's been playing some of the best defense we've seen him play in a New York Knicks uniform. And then Mitchell Robinson, too, when he gets into a home court environment, the crowd just loves his energy, loves what he brings to the table, and it seems like his adrenaline level goes up a notch. He jumps higher on those rebounds, higher on those lobs, and he just really feeds off the crowd, and this bench was outstanding and continuing to build on that lead.
What about the defense, guys?
Yeah.
Much like
that's the story.
Game 4.
That is the story of the series
Hawks
now.
couldn't breathe in the first half.
No. And look, 6 steals, 6 blocks, 40 defensive rebounds, allowing just 5 offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounding when you're not shooting the ball well, like the Hawks were not shooting the ball well, you get all those defensive rebounds. It's demoralizing. They aren't getting second chances. I think the turnover factor was not as much of a big deal in this game for the Hawks as it was in Game 4, but that didn't matter because of the way the Knicks were not allowing them to get second chances. And I think that's really part of it. That and the fact that they took the paint away in the first half.
No transition for them either.
Well, when you're making buckets, they can't go in transition on you. You're not turning the ball over either. The Knicks kept the turnovers low in this game, so you're not giving those up. But I feel like they took the paint away and forced the Hawks to continue to stay on the perimeter. And those threes, we said this in the pregame, the three-point shooting to watch. This was a good three-point shooting team during the regular season, 37%. They have not been able to knock down those threes in this series because the Knicks are taking away their ability to get into rhythm on them.
No, the Knicks defense has been locked in, and C.J. McCollum didn't have one of those superhero type efforts.
He looked tired.
And you could tell he did.
He looked tired.
He looked old. And you could tell that when he is not rolling at that high level, he was playing at some level for the first 4 games of this series.
Especially game 2.
Yeah, for the first 4 games of this series, then this team really falls off big time because he's like their kind of beacon and their barometer type leader and their guy that they look to for big shots and big plays. And when he misses shots, you can see the rest of the team, it really affects them.
More turnovers than made field
goals. Yeah, McCollum, 3 out of 10, 4 turnovers, 6 points. Yeah. That's it. Monica McNutt across the street joins us. She helped call the game, as always, on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, what stands out to you after this win tonight?
I think the energy on both sides of the ball, guys. It is human nature as a hooper sometimes if it's rolling offensively, maybe it's not as sharp as it should be defensively, but I thought the Knicks did an outstanding job of bringing the energy and the intensity on both sides of the basketball from the jump tonight. And even through that little bit of a lull in the third quarter, overall, again, learning from Game 2's mistakes, right? Not relinquishing any of the lead going into that fourth quarter. Really, really balanced performance from this group. I thought it was impressive and very focused.
And Monica, what we were wondering is what are the adjustments going to be with Karl Anthony Towns at the hub of the offense and some of the side screens that they have going on around him. And it looked like the Hawks were trying to blow it up at times. And what happened was it turned into multiple options because of the way the Hawks were defending, and then it turned into, like you said, scramble. It's almost like at one point in the game, they didn't know where to go because there were so many options off that play.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
You're absolutely right, Hahn. Actually, I think I called that out to Tyler. I can't get the name of this play so we can know. But the one play where you get the screener, we saw options off that play for obviously OG Anunoby slipping. Jalen Brunson came clean one time. I think Jordan Clarkson might have got a clean look off of that one as well. Just in terms of the different reads that you can make off of the one play. The one thing, too, though, to that end, I thought tonight you saw what we've talked about in terms of dictating the pace. That doesn't mean it has to be slow and plodding, but it's long enough in your half-court set to be deliberate about what you're doing. Setting screens and making legitimate contact, cutting off of them hard, like executing and making the Hawks have to defend a possession and all of its options until you find the soft spot.
Monica, Jalen Brunson cracked the code of Dyson Daniels and the Hawks. How did he do it?
I mean, Wally, isn't it so great to see an efficient line from him? 15 of 23 is unreal. And this is, honestly, guys, at this point, we've had 4 years of postseason with Jalen Brunson. It's sort of a familiar cadence where he starts off a little sluggish, give him some time to get some tape, really see what defenses are trying to do to him. And he might not show up at the front, but when you need him, he's going to show up and tell you exactly what you said, Wally, or demonstrate, rather, instead of tell, how he has been able to pick apart defenses. So to me, in this one, he just leans into the physicality at this point. It obviously helps that he's got his 3-ball going as well, knocked down a couple of those. But I think him leaning into the physicality, attacking off of his first step, right, as opposed to like dancing with the rock, getting out ahead and getting his hip by defenders a few times, no matter their size. We saw him get baskets in the lane that really helped to get him going.
All right, Monica, good stuff as always. We'll talk to you on Thursday night.
Sounds good, guys.
When we come back, lots to break down from the Wally Wall fans, all excited from what they saw. And Alan and Wally breaking down some key plays coming up. Fans celebrating the Knicks win over the Hawks. Knicks 19-0 this year when holding an opponent under 100 points. Over now the Wally Wall with Alan and Wally, guys.
Thank you, Bill. These are always fun during the playoffs, right? Because you see the different adjustments as we go to each game, and we also see how players adjust. And there's something that we're going to show you with Jalen Brunson, which earlier in the series, he might have forced a couple of things when he got into a one-on-one situation. Here he doesn't, and dare I say this looks very Steph Curry-ish.
Yeah, this is exactly what Mike Brown, I think, has brought to the offense, coaching under, coaching Steph Curry over there out west in Golden State. So here's Jalen Brunson, loses the ball on this one. But, hey, you have Karl Anthony Towns, so freeze it here. Karl Anthony Towns gets the ball. He's the outlet. Now you go into your split game. And here comes Jalen Brunson coming off the screen and getting an easy 2. 6 on the shot clock. Still no panic. Look at this. Karl Anthony Towns knows he's got a little bit of time. Jalen Brunson, the hard cut. Towns gets that little rub screen because he's very good at that. And then Jalen Brunson gets to the hoop and gets the easy two. I mean, this is just exceptional execution of the offense. The Knicks have generated so many layups in a playoff series. That's not easy to do. No. Outstanding job by Karl Anthony Towns just executing that offense up top.
Yeah, we talked about in the pregame show how Brunson had actually been struggling making layups or finishing layups because a lot of them had been blocked in this game. It was just a layup drill for him. They've certainly figured something out. Meantime, the Knicks definitely figured something out defensively. Yeah. And they're able to get down to the other end of the floor. This is another game now where it feels like all 5 guys touch the basketball to get to an open shot.
Yeah, and this is just, again, the size of Karl Anthony Towns. He's unstoppable when he gets the ball in the post, so you got to bring a double team. Catches the ball in his spot. So what happens? Couple dribbles, frees it here. Here's the double team coming. 3 guys he attracts. And he can see over the defense to get this pass out to the outside, which leads to the swing. This is a very tough pass to make. You have to be 7 feet tall to see over the defense, get it there. Now full rotations are coming. Here comes Okongwu out. I'm surprised Okongwu full rotated to Josh Hart. Maybe you want to make Josh Hart take this shot and not swing it to Anunoby in the corner, but they were in full rotations, and that means Dyson Daniels is a little bit late. Hart is willing to give this up. Find OG in the corner, who's a great three-point shooter, especially in those corners, and he nails that 3. OG Anunoby locked in. Getting those easy baskets, those dunks off cuts, that allows you to really be in rhythm for your three-point shooting. And OG Anunoby was locked in from 3 also.
Yeah, the Knicks as a team, 11 for 26, 42% from three-point range. OG with 2 of 3 from downtown. That there was one of them. Mike Brown now, his team on the verge, 1 win away from getting into the second round. We have his thoughts now from the postgame, presented by Chase.
Played a good game. You know, I'm sure Atlanta feels like they can play better, and we know they can play better. You know, but one of the things that we said we got to do, we got to box out. And, you know, we gave up 5 offensive rebounds, which to that team is huge because, they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league. So, I said, excuse me. I a little bit, but it's okay, though. We all judge. But excuse me again for the burp, for the 2 burps. But, you know, we talked about boxing out. Our guys did an unbelievable job on the glass. I tell you, OG and Cat were monsters. Between the 2 of them, it's what was that, 22 defensive rebounds. They both had a double-double. They were phenomenal. It's huge for us to keep these guys off the glass. It's huge for us to keep them out of transition. They had 4 fast break points. They're going to come even faster, harder in Game 6. Our guys did a good job of taking care of the basketball. You know, that's another thing that Atlanta does. They turn you over. And our guys did a nice job of taking care of the basketball. But more importantly, when we did turn over, they weren't really live ball turnovers that can hurt you in transition. So just phenomenal. Atlanta's doing a nice job of taking away our sprays. And so what does that mean? That means there's more room to drive and finish, and that's what we have to do. If the spray is not available, we gotta finish. And you know, we had 60 points in the paint, and we probably posted Cat a couple of times. So a lot of those points in the paint came off of drives because they're staying home on our shooters, and we're not able to get up, you know, the 43s that we want to get up. So we have to take what the defense gives us. So great job finishing at the rim. Great job of taking care of the ball when hitting the paint. And great job of spacing the floor so we're able to finish at the rim. But good win. Jalen was phenomenal, especially in that 4th quarter. You know, 39 points on 15 of 23. But just as importantly, 8 assists and 1 turnover. It's a big game from a big-time player.
Mike, to go from the 2 one-point losses to these 2 pretty decisive victories, just what does it tell you about your team's response to adversity?
You know, they're resilient, and we talked about it throughout the course of the year. you got to go through some adversity throughout the course of the year to see what you're made of as a group, see how you're going to respond. And, you just got to keep fighting. And our guys have been through a lot so far this year, and they continue to go through it, but they've been through it as a group. And there's nothing that will deter the group. They're a veteran group that knows what they want and how to go get it, no matter what's in front of them.
Like Jalen looked like he was getting comfortable with a lot more off-ball stuff earlier in the game, and that was just like typical Jalen slicing through the pick and roll at the end. What did you think of the way that he was kind of reading how to manipulate their defense depending on what they were given?
Jalen was great, and his screening is great, his pace is great. We're just trying to move him around as much as we can so that they can't catch a rhythm with him.
Mike, speaking about Jalen, he had talked yesterday about making the right decision. They sent two at him, getting off the ball. It looked like today when they started Daniels on Cat, he looked like he was just going to be aggressive tonight. Did you see that right from the start with him?
Yeah, we want him to be aggressive, and like I said, the biggest thing for us is to keep trying to find ways to move him around because he's impactful whenever he's in action. They want to send two guys at him, and when they do, other guys have to step up.
Mike, just in a playoff series, obviously with highs and lows, just what is the value of the consistency that OG provides and his willingness to do so many different things?
I mean, it's huge. Again, he had a double-double, but he impacted the game at such a high level, and he impacted it in ways that he can't even really tell, because it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. So we need him, and he's definitely been about as consistent as you'd hope and expect, and we need every ounce of his consistency at the highest level.
Mike, you mentioned them taking away some of the three-pointers. You had, I think, an 18-point advantage in points in the paint. You're someone who's often, emphasized sprays and as many sprays as you can. But when they're taking that away, how much do you like that you guys can almost change your identity a little bit and play to how they're playing you?
No, I love it. We have to attack the finish like McHale's drive and dunk. Again, that's available because they're taking the spray game away, and so our guys have to continue trying to take what's available. And right now for us, it's finishing in the paint.
Knicks dominating points in the paint, as a coach talked about, 60-42. Knicks roll 126-97. Energizing plays coming up. The recent Thank You NYPD concert held at Madison Square Garden will become an annual celebration to recognize the New York City Police Department. A check for $500,000 was presented to the New York City Police Foundation to innovate and enhance the quality of NYPD services, build bridges with the community, and make our city a safer place to live, work, and visit. To learn more about the Thank You NYPD initiative launched by MSG Entertainment, visit msg.com/NYPD. Welcome back, everyone, as the Knicks beat the Hawks tonight in Game 5 by 29. Energizing plays presented by C4 Energy and Allen. Jonathan Kuminga, there's no way he's going to stop Cat. He's just not big enough.
You see what he does at the end? He just, forget it. His hand got stuck under his elbow, and every time Towns had that matchup, he had no hesitation. That, by Kuminga, though, by the way, that was a highlight moment.
That was an energizing play.
Yeah, that was, but so was Mitchell Robinson.
That's right.
As he was on the offensive glass there.
And there's C.J. McCollum with the turnover in transition. Jalen Brunson turned on the Jets to get that easy, too. You could tell Jalen was smelling easy buckets. 15 for 23. How about that move?
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges pointing at the bench like he loves to do.
Lob, Wally.
Yeah, and I love the point right there. Yeah. Nice pass, Deuce. Gotta love that.
How about one more? How about one more?
Bring it. There you go. That's good stuff. And then Jalen Brunson down the stretch. He's just icing this game. Learning from when you're up 15, 13, 17, like last time when you gave up the lead. Just blow that team out of the water. Jalen Brunson kicked it into gear. He found his rhythm and was huge in that fourth quarter. What a performance by this team. What a performance by their captain.
Top of the key, Hart, left elbow, Towns, 4 to shoot. Fake hand off to Brunson. Backdoor cut for Brunson and a wide open left-hand layup. Beautiful bounce pass from Karl Anthony Towns. Knicks by 16.
Tyler Murray with the call on the radio on ESPN New York. Back now from the corner three, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Alan, the ball movement here in the last couple of games has been really impressive.
The 26 assists doesn't even tell the story, if you ask me. It's really just how many players are touching the basketball on a given possession. You see right there, too. It's why I asked Towns, about how much joy he has in passing. It's not even like he's looking to shoot first. His shot is, to me, his second option after who's open, who's cutting, how can I make a pass? Okay, nothing. All right, now I got to shoot. Right? Well, a lot of guys think shot first, but he really does think pass first.
And that's good. And the new wave of the NBA is constant motion, player movement, ball movement. Don't, go ISO too much. Every once in a while, sometimes in the fourth quarter, you exploit matchups that you want to exploit, and you got to control the game by doing stuff like that. But overall, this offense has just looked great in this series. It's been a lot more fluid. It hasn't just been Jalen Brunson pounding the ball, getting double-teamed at the half court. I think the Knicks learned from the issues they had in previous games, and right now everyone's touching the ball. The offense looks really good, and that's a really good sign because they're tough to prepare for. And they're going to be tough to beat in Game 6 because you never know who to try to stop them and lock down.
And we've talked about the bench. Jose Alvarado, career playoff high 12 points. Here he is after the game.
Jose, when the defense is humming like that, why is it so effective?
I mean, we getting stops and, get rolling. So, once we get our defense rolling, the offense is going to take care of itself. We know we can score the ball at a very high level. So we need to get stops, and that's what we're trying to do.
You obviously provided a spark tonight. What's it like hearing the fans chanting your name here in the playoffs at the Garden?
It's amazing. I can't really put it in words, I always got a Knicks jersey on and I always think like that. It's like, this is crazy. But it's a good feeling, like I said, it's exciting to be in the city that I'm from and just compete for a championship.
Jose, what has this process been like? Not playing in Game 1 and then staying ready, and then now getting your moments the last couple of games.
It's just part of the business, Stay ready, whatever the team needs, and we know we're a really good team. So they communicated with how it was going to go, and then I was, just stay ready, and then that's what I did mentally.
Yeah, 12 points in 12 minutes for you tonight. Just what went into that efficiency?
My teammates found me. I was open, and I made the shots today.
60 points in the paint for the team, plus 17 from the free throw line. Was the mindset to attack?
Yeah, I mean, that's what our goal is, always to get attack and get easy shots. That's what we're trying to do, and that's what we're trying to continue doing.
Jalen's footwork, I mean, how special is that, and what he was able to do there in the fourth quarter?
Boy, he could probably dance, right? I don't know. He got twinkle toes over there. I mean, but it's obviously amazing. He's getting to his spot, and you think you stopped him, and then he creates another move, I guess. So it's amazing.
Alvarado began the playoffs out of the rotation, but he has been a contributor as he's gotten playing time. Cat, a big game, and his post-game comments coming up. Knicks now lead the Hawks 3-2 in the win tonight. Cat 16 points, 14 boards, 6 assists. Here he is at the postgame podium.
Talk about the adjustments you've had to make when you see them throw different defenders at you. You had Kuminga earlier in the series, and then tonight they started with Daniels on you.
Everyone's going to make adjustments, just like we are as a team. So just being prepared for whatever the defense throws at us and being able to react accordingly.
Just now 16 assists for you in 2 games.
Uh-huh.
Do you consider yourself becoming now a point center a little bit?
I feel like feel like passing's been my thing since I came into the league, and I know sometimes the scoring gets more noticed than the passing, but I'm glad that I'm able to have the opportunity to show what I could do passing-wise with my teammates cutting in this area. So I just got to continue to stay disciplined, continue to make the right play, regardless if it's the scoring play or it's the hockey assist, and just continue to do whatever my teammates and this team need from me to win.
You think when you're passing at that level, it brings out the best in the offense as a whole?
I think it just, it gives us life and it gives energy to the basketball, and I think it it translates to our defense. Getting a good possession like that with the ball movement, it brings energy to our games.
Also, what you did early, there was a stretch where you had about 12 points in about a 6-minute span, and they wound up switching to who they had on you. But did that open things up for Jalen too? Who's kind of been blanketed a lot in this series?
I mean, he's one of the best point guards and players in the NBA, so I don't know if I was the reason for that, but if I watch the tape, and hopefully I could come back tomorrow when we watch film and say I helped him be who he's always been.
What's the team's confidence level as you go to Atlanta with a chance to clinch the series?
Confidence is built in the work. So I think for us, we just understand what the situation is. The toughest game to win is the one that ends someone's season. So we got to be super disciplined. We got to execute at the highest level that we have in this series, and we got to be ready for a really tough game.
Game 6 Thursday night. Knicks try to close it out. Jalen Brunson, his best game of the series by far. 39 points. His post-game comments straight ahead.
Top of the key, Hahn, left elbow, Towns, 4 to shoot. Fake hand off to Brunson. Backdoor cut for Brunson and a wide open left-hand layup. Beautiful bounce pass from Karl Anthony Towns. Knicks by 16.
Kyler Murray, the call on the radio on ESPN New York. Jalen Brunson, 39 tonight. Most games in Knicks playoff history with at least 35 points. Jalen Brunson now has 14, 5 more than Bernard King. Here's Jalen Brunson now after the contest.
Series, is there one thing that really stood out to you or impressed you about how he's brought it every single night?
No, not one thing. I think there's been a lot of things he's been doing well on both sides of the ball. He's playing great. He's playing physical on both sides. And, his attention to detail has been great. And he's just shown up every single game. And that's just who he is.
Yeah, what did that fourth quarter mean for you? To see the ball go in like it did?
Yeah, the ball went in, but I'm just happy that we were able to keep the lead and play well with it. Their team is capable of going on runs, as we know from earlier in the series, to close out games. But I just like the way we played in the fourth and how we kept the lead.
Jalen, you had a few hesitation moves that you went to in that fourth quarter. At what point in your life did you feel like you had that hezzy down? It's such a staple of your game now.
I don't know. I don't remember when, but I've always known that I've had the ability to do that.
What inspired that type of the way that you play with speeds? What inspired you to get into that style?
There's a lot of players who are taller or faster or stronger than me, so I got to keep them off balance somehow.
When Cat is passing the way he is the last 2 games, what does that do for you and I guess the offense as a whole?
Yeah, it's another dimension that we've been able to do, and Cat's making great decisions, and I think us playing off ball, the screens that we're setting, the pace that we're cutting, has helped him with that, and also Cat has the ability to go by his defender, and so. It's a lot of things we can do off that, and so he's playing great, making great decisions.
And it looked like in the fourth quarter, CJ might have kicked you in the midsection once again. I guess did you feel that? And now that's the second time. What do you make of it? I guess
I'm not getting anything out of it.
Jalen, 39 points tonight. How important was it for you to get off to such an early start and be able to continue it the rest of the way?
It was just important for us to come out the way we did, regardless of who's doing the scoring or whatever. I think just us being on the string on both sides of the ball really helped us. And we were locked in mentally, and the way we were playing, it's how we wanted to play. There's still a lot of things I think that we can do better and not have lapses, but I think our mentality walking into the game is something that we need to continue to have.
Yeah, that urgency from Game 4 carried over, Allen, into tonight, and Knicks hope they can start off well on Thursday and get the Hawks out of the playoffs here in 6 games.
Listen, the confidence comes from demonstrated performance, and they have demonstrated that they can win in Atlanta. They have demonstrated it last year in the playoffs. They can win on the road, close out series on the road. They've done it in Philadelphia. They've done it in Detroit. It's something that they know they can do, and they have done. And when you have a closer like Jalen Brunson, you got to feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, you just got to continue to rise and play at a high level. You have to expect this Hawks team to throw the kitchen sink at you, but you also, there's a point where you got to get the doubt to start creeping into the Hawks' mind.
You don't think it's there yet?
I think it started.
It's there, but it's not going to be there at Game 6 yet. There's going to be a point in Game 6 where they start looking around like this could really be it, because they believe they can win Game 6, especially at home. But once you get them to the point where you can see that fear in their eyes that their season could be over, that's when you got to go for it and go for the kill.
I feel like the Knicks have put that fear in their eyes that you saw in this game. Now what they have to do is make sure they finish the job.
Got to close it out. The Knicks on Thursday night. OG Anunoby, all smiles tonight. 17-10, 5 of 8, shooting efficiently. Lots to smile about all around. So the Knicks win Game 5, now lead the Hawks 3-2. We'll see on Thursday night. 6:30 pregame, games at 7. Extended postgame coverage as always after Game 6 on Thursday night as the Knicks will try to close out the Hawks and move on to the second round of the playoffs. Knicks trailed 4-2, and after that it was all smiles all the way around as they blew out the Hawks, taking control early in the first quarter and never looking back. Final count tonight, 126-97. We'll talk to everyone. See you on Thursday night, pregame at 6:30. Want more than just a postgame show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.